Now you're driving down Magnolia Lane for the first time in the courtesy car, Masters Week. Every time I drove down it, even for the last Masters I played, I'm able to take people down that street and up to the clubhouse. It's a feeling you can't get in golf. There's no doubt about it. And then
Step into the Fieldhouse, your front row seat to legendary victories and untold stories. Hey, I'm your host, Lance Lunner, breaking down sports from the inside out, along with co-host Jimmy Lackey. It's more than just a game. It's the Fieldhouse Podcast. Hey, everybody. Welcome into the Fieldhouse Podcast. It's a production of the Kids Inc. Sports Network. I'm your co-host, Lance Lunner. We have Jimmy Lackey, CEO, Prez, everything at Kids Inc. Jimmy, how goes it today?
Man, look what we've got at the table.
I
I don't even want to talk.
I call it the whale day. You know, Moby Dick. We got the big fish in. We're having a lot of fun
Anybody
today.
that knows me from my days is all I did was play golf growing up, and so to have somebody like Ryan come in today this is like when you were a little kid and you wanted so and so.
Yeah.
There's my so and so right
it's
there.
Christmas.
Plus, my wife taught him back in the day. So.
Oh, that's cool. That's way cool. Yeah. Everybody knows him. Ryan Palmer, PGA Tour professional, the greatest golfer in Amarillo history. We'll get into all that stuff. He's not really into accolades like that. That's why we like Ryan so much. But bottom line is he was born right here in Amarillo High. Went to Amarillo High, 1995, UIL State Golf Tournament. Ty Cox, Matt Watson, Zach Norrell, Billy Slaughter. You guys finished third. By the way, no team in Amarillo has placed higher than that since.
Wow.
In the state tournament. You know what I mean? So real quick, Amarillo High days, just a lot of fun playing with your buddies.
Yeah, no, it was we had a pretty good team. I always go back to the beginning of high school golf. Our coach, Wade Walker, dearest friend, obviously. I'll never forget, we were in 8th grade, and we were coming up. And my dad used to always tell a story, and they would always talk. And I guess the story went, we'll see how these kids play. You're about to have 3 freshmen on your team, and, well, we'll see how good they really are, I guess. It was a lot of that conversation. And, of course, Matt Watson, myself, and Ty Cox, all 3 made varsity that year, our freshman year. And, we played 4 straight years. So we had a great high school career as far as our golf goes, and the tournaments we had and the events we played well in. Obviously going to state that one year and winning regionals our junior year, I believe. But it was a good run we had for sure. And then it was funny. I always talk about Judd Burkett was my he drove me to practice every day my freshman year. So when we've been on tour, he caddied for Chad Campbell for so many years, and every time I talk about Judd and I growing up together and then playing high school golf together, I always talk about him. He was my ride to golf practice.
That's pretty cool. Wow, small world. Yeah, Judd obviously caddies for you did caddy for you every once in a while and all that. So played his college golf at North Texas for a year. Then, of course, at Texas A&M, he was on that team. I think you're in that Hall of Honor or whatever they call all those things, Hall of Fame. What are you in down there, man?
Yeah, I was inducted into the Texas A&M Sports Hall of Fame.
That's awesome.
So the Letterman's Association. So, as a kid growing up, wanting to be an A&M Aggie, and that was my dream school as a young kid. Had a neighbor that was an Aggie, so I kind of just fell into love with the school. And but to be able to go out there and play was a dream come true as well. But then, to have the career I've had and to be inducted in their Hall of Fame was a special moment there with my golf coach, Bob Ellis. My parents were there, so Jennifer, my kids. It was a very, very special moment.
Was that at a football game where they actually
They had the event, the banquet that night before the game, and then they had a game where all the inductees were there, and then during one part of the game, they had us on the field with our medals and introducing us. So
Kyle Field rocking.
It was, but they weren't playing anybody good, so
okay.
That's probably why they picked those games.
I like that. I like that a lot. Hey, tell our listeners and viewers today, if you don't mind, North Texas to A&M. I casually say that, but that's quite a jump, Ryan, where you were able to make that move. What happened in that year? And then you can go, Jimmy.
Yeah, so my senior year, I was obviously wanting to play college golf. I went on a few trips. I sent letters to every school I wanted to, A&M being the first. Of course, most of the letters came back, hey, we don't have space, but you're welcome to, if you get into school, try and walk on. And then, I went and visited. I think it was Cameron University up in Lawton.
Lawton.
Is that right?
Lawton, yeah.
I went
Where
visit-
Zach went.
Went and visited there, and then of course visited North Texas. I wanted to play in Division One as far as when it came to college golf, and had a chance to go to Midland Junior College where Judd and Chad both played. I mean, I turned down a full ride there to go to North Texas, and then so I had a decent ride to North Texas and spent a year. But it was funny because throughout the year I'd always see Ty Cox, who was at A&M playing, and I was always hanging out with he and his team and at tournaments, and we were putting, hanging out, and doing all that, and then I played well. Coach David Foster gave me that chance, and I ended up winning a tournament. I won the conference that year, and our team did as well, the Southland Conference. I don't think it exists anymore, but I know North
A
Texas.
version of it does, yeah.
The version,
Yeah.
So,
Everything's got a version.
But then towards the end of the year, Ty had come to me and said, "Hey, our coach is looking for another player, and we talked about you, and you think you can make it happen?" I was like, "Well, just let me take care of the rest." So the hardest conversation I ever had was walking into Coach Foster's office asking for his release. So back then you had to get a release from your coach to transfer to another school, and by that chance to go to Texas A&M where I always wanted to go.
Yeah.
So
did he understand that?
he did, and he
Yeah.
let me go. David Foster was great for me as well. So but I had the chance had to spend summer school to get my grades at a certain point to get in A&M, but
Fair enough.
we did, and lifelong Aggie.
I'm going to show my age here, but North Texas has a good golf program, or certainly did back in the day. And a buddy of mine, Brian Knoll, and I went to a golf camp between our 8th and 9th grade years in high school at North Texas. Don January, I'm showing my age here, but Don January was the host of the camp that week, and he was there every day, and so it was a big deal. It wasn't some little rinky-dink golf camp, but it's you're right. There's a jump from North Texas to A&M, and there's the proof's in the pudding there. So I got to tell about my thing out here out front while Ryan's here, because he's seen this. He's taken a picture with me before, but this was during Ryan's very first time he qualified to go to the Masters, and of course you went to cover it. And my secretary walks down the hall on Thursday. She said, "Did you know Ryan Palmer's leading the Masters?" I go, "Shut up." I did. I just said, "Shut up." She goes, "No, I'm dead serious. He is." This is back when internet's pretty antiquated.
Yeah.
So I'm masters.org as fast as I can, and there was your picture at -3. Well, by the time I figured out how to make a screenshot, it went to -2, but you're still on there as a co-leader of the Masters.
Wow.
And I mean, the office is buzzing, and everybody's running into my office to look at this deal. And so I shot a screenshot of that, and then Ryan gave me the felt from the foundation, and then brought me the flag back from his first Masters. And so this was a silent auction at our 60th anniversary banquet back in 2005. And one of my board members who had sold his oil company was bidding on it, and I was trying to buy it, and it got way out of my price leg. So I put one more down. Of course, he bid it up again, and he ended up winning it. Next morning, he walks in, he goes, "I was buying it for you." And I thought, my gosh, if I'd have known that, I'd have just kept bidding it up.
Bidding it up.
But that's how
cool,
I
yeah.
ended up with that, and so that's been a treasure of mine.
That's a good question right out of the box there, Ryan. What that first Masters? The majors are special. The Open, you've been in, you played at the greatest courses in the world, but that first Masters, what was that like? You get a drive down Magnolia Lane and then tee it up.
Yeah.
Is it different? That first one?
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. I can only say I led the Masters at one time, so that's good.
Yeah.
Have that going for me. But no, it was. I'll never forget. We actually went and watched it one year in 2003. I was on the Corn Ferry Tour, nationwide tour back then, and somehow it came out. Dad and I were able to go. I mean, they say you're not supposed to go until you are in.
If you're a pro,
we kind of broke
right?
that.
Yeah.
That rule, I guess, hidden rule. But we went and watched one year, one day. But to get to go play first with him, we got to play a practice round.
Wow.
And we played with Knox. What's his first? I can't think of his name right now. But he's
the guy who's always the alternate.
Yes, he always plays with them.
Yeah.
Awesome guy.
He plays if they don't like one person playing by themselves.
Correct. He's always their marker.
Okay.
He always plays.
So he plays a lot of them.
Great player.
And he beat a couple of them on occasion. He's that good.
Great player.
Yeah.
Great guy. But we got to play that day. Just Dad and I had pictures on the bridge, all that good stuff. But then to drive down in your Mercedes from the tournament, of course, I'd been on tour for a year, so I was kind of getting pretty comfortable being on tour. But now you're driving down Magnolia Lane for the first time in the Curse car, Masters Week. Every time I drove down it, even for the last Masters I played, I'm able to take people down that street
Wow.
and up to the clubhouse. It's a feeling you can't get in golf. There's no doubt about it. And then, back then they didn't have that big new driving range they have now. It was
Right.
the members range, and sitting on the range with Dad and Neil Wilkins, and just
Man.
your first Masters, and then you can't buy enough memorabilia, hats, flags, you name it. And
Yeah.
but actually made the cut. I think I finished 30 something that week.
Yeah.
If I recall.
Yeah, you made the cut, finished in the top 30. In the top 40.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you that first. Take us hackers through this. That first tee shot, Thursday morning Masters. Are you nervous, or are you pretty calm? I mean, you're a pro's pro, so
I think I got it airborne. I'm pretty certain.
That would you were proud about that?
But every Thursday I played was nervous. A good nervous. I mean, you're
Yeah.
anxious.
Yeah.
You've been putting all the work in, and you're ready to go play it. But yeah, it's they call your name now driving Ryan Palmer. I mean, it's like, oh, this is real. So it's definitely a nervous tee shot for sure. I mean, it always is. Everyone I've played has always been nervous. So
Yeah.
but I've been blessed to I think I played in 7 of them. So
The Traditions, 2011. Ryan finished in the top 10, so the top 10 at that time automatically qualifies. I think they've bumped it up to 12 now. The top 12 may get the automatic qualifier.
I think it's 16.
16 now, even?
I think it's
Okay.
top 16 qualify for the next year's.
Yeah.
think it's
That
what it
had
is.
to be a great day for your golf career. I know you've won tournaments and all that, but to be a top 10 at the Masters.
Yeah, I mean, there was chances in there and contending. I mean,
Yeah.
I was inside the top 10 for quite a while, playing, and a few putts here and there. You never know. So I was in position to give it a run, which was nice. And like I said, I ended up finishing top 10.
Is it your favorite course or not?
Favorite course? It's probably from a major standpoint, yes. I mean, obviously it's Augusta National, it's the Masters, and there's so many great events over in Europe at the British Open that I love. I think that's one of the funnest majors we play for sure. Just the type of golf you
Yeah.
play, it's different. But from a favorite golf course, we get that asked all the time. Obviously,
Yeah, I
what's
know,
your favorite golf
yes.
course? So the way I answer it is, for the Masters, it's great. But if I had one more round of golf to play, I'd play Pebble Beach. So just there's something about that place that just the smells, the sounds, the sights, everything about it. Just when you walk off, when you get a car, it's a feeling that I don't get anywhere else.
That's pretty cool, yeah. Little shout out here personally to Ryan, because I got to cover the Masters with him in it, and then work for the Augusta Chronicle as well, Ryan, real quick. They have what they call a media lottery, okay? And so, like, I'm with the Amarillo Globe News, and I'm thinking, okay, you got Sports Illustrated, you got all these, national writers there. You know them really well. And so I'm thinking, no way they're going to draw a guy from Amarillo. You know what I mean? I thought it was fixed. First time I'm there covering him, they draw my name. And so I got to play it the next day.
That's right, yeah.
You play the same pins. All those ropes are gone. I don't know if you knew that. All the box concession stands are gone. All that are left are the stands. They move that quick.
Oh, I guarantee you, they're hidden in trees. You don't see them.
Yeah.
They're like ninjas coming out to clean it up. I
They
mean,
are. They are. Anyway, so I got to play it, and then his last time there, I also got to play it the next day. And so, yeah, thanks for that, man. Wouldn't happen without you. And
Well,
I've
tell
actually.
them about dressing in the clubhouse. I mean, all the things you get to do.
Well, what they do is they treat you like a member for the day, Ryan. So, yes, you drive down Magnolia Lane. So I have a video. I'm driving 1 mile an hour.
oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
I've
Of
done
course.
it numerous times.
Then okay. Then they take you up to the champions locker. You dress in the champions locker, and then you get to go up and see the crow's nest. And then
How small is that?
that is so small.
Where the
Even
interstate?
Yeah.
Trying to get up the stairs?
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
crazy.
yeah, speaking of ninjas, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I was shocked how small it is. Even the champions locker room is very
Yeah.
tiny, as well. So, but yeah, you got to do all that. And then they hand you a caddy, and then you go out to the driving range, you hit a few balls, say what you can do, and then you go. So,
They tell you what you can do.
yeah, you.
I'll never forget that first time we played with Dad. and we were on the range and we were hitting balls, and there's Mr. Palmer. Sorry, Ryan, you can warm up, but you're not allowed to. We can't have you hitting balls till your member shows up to your host.
Oh.
So
Because you were a player.
Dad couldn't hit balls till the host was there.
Wow.
I could, but he could not.
Explain that real quick. You have to have a host to play it, correct?
Yes, so if you're in the tournament, I'm allowed to go play the day you're exempt and they announce it, whatever. You're allowed to go play as many times as you want. Now I can take somebody to walk with me, but they can't play it. But if I want somebody to play, I've got to have a host that's a member. So the last few Masters I've been able to take some friends that never played it, and we've stayed in the cabins for 2 nights and played for 1 night really. But a good friend of mine, Brian Roberts, who we played Pebble Beach a lot together. He's a Comcast owner, NBC Golf Channel.
Comcast owner.
Good guy to know. But
Yeah.
we became dear friends,
Yeah.
and we got paired together at Pebble one year, and ever since then we became dear friends. I mean, we talk once every couple of weeks, and
That's cool.
I'll go play Seminole Pro member with him when we can, and we played Palm Springs last year in the American Express, and he's my next. I got one big ask left for him. It's to take Mason to play, so that's coming up soon. Mason doesn't know that, but
He does now.
Hey, real quick,
hopefully
Ryan,
we'll get him
the
there.
eyes of joy. I call it the happy place. Everybody's happy to be there. The fans, the golfers. You guys are in great moods. Pretty much that whole week. Everybody's happy to be there, but to take somebody in there and then they see it, does it always like, wow, this
Oh yeah, I mean,
brings back your first memory?
the drive's awesome. I took a good friend of mine who works for the Miami Dolphins, Dave Mack, and he and his dad one year, and we were driving down, and you could hear it. The first was panicking. Can we get in our tickets? What's going to happen? Don't worry, because they get their tickets. They're told, hey, do not try to go in here. Make
Yeah.
sure you go in there. They will take them. I go, guys, just get in the car. We're fine. So we drive up. Of course, here comes 4 security guards on both sides of the car.
Yeah.
Roll the window down. They scan tickets, and then it's like, okay, have a good day. Good luck, Mr. Palmer. We drive through, and we, like you said, we're driving 2 miles per hour, just going through, and you see the house and the clubhouse and pull in the park and everything. And then, when they see the grounds, because you walk out and you go out there, they don't realize the undulation. And the clubhouse sits up on pretty much the hill. And all of a sudden you see the big old downhill slope. You see 3 green. You see 2 green, 7. It's like, wow, this is not small.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
it's a sight.
Yeah. Here's how stickler they are, real quick, Jimmy, and then you can go. But like, if as a media member, if you take a cell phone out of the press room, okay, and it's not a room, it's a mansion now, $75 million ridiculous mansion. But if you take your press pass out, I mean your card or your phone, excuse me, if you take your cell phone on the course, they will grab your ticket, your press pass, clip it off, and escort you off the grounds.
Oh, they'll remove my wife if she's got it on. I mean, that's as strict as they come.
Yeah. So there's no cell phones. So do you like that, real quick? I mean, you're so used to.
We've got ours. That's players.
Yeah. No, but I mean, when you golf now, everybody's has a phone up or something.
They're actually not bad because you can't hear them, and they're fine. It's the old days back when they had the little plastic cameras. You can hear that click.
Yeah.
That was the problem. Now you don't know because they're so quiet now.
Yeah.
So I sent a text to 3 of my buddies that we grew up playing golf. I said, give me some questions that you want me to ask him. And one of them's an Aggie. So he asked me this. He said, which of the majors would you want to win the most?
Oh.
If you had to pick one.
Yeah, I got asked that question one time, and because they're kind of different. So the U.S. Open, it's United States Open, obviously, but you get a 10-year exemption in the tournament. The British Open is obviously over there, and it's until 65, lifetime. Same with PGA, and same with the Augusta National and the Masters. So from a trophy standpoint, the British, because it's just a cool trophy. The Claret Jug. That's unique. But if I had to pick one, it'd be the Masters. Just, the history of it, the green jacket,
Sure.
Going back every year to play. It's the one tournament everybody starts thinking about the day after the Masters.
Do you ever hear people hollering at you? They're talking to you. And the reason I'm asking that, I got a buddy, his name's Jamie, saw you at the 22 PGA at Southern Hills, and he said he hollered at you, and you looked over at him. I said, I'm thinking, you don't even know who he is, but y'all do share a birthday. I will say that. September 19th, y'all share a birthday.
That's cool.
Yeah. But do you hear stuff like that?
I do. I've noticed a lot, and James used to, my old caddy, and now my new caddy, Shannon, they'll hear it now. I hear more Sand blows than you could imagine.
Yeah.
It's
That's
actually
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
And, of course, gig 'em. I get it a lot, and if somebody's yelling Ryan, I'm quick to turn around just to see if it's somebody I do know personally. And so, yeah, I do hear it. I mean, sometimes you don't acknowledge it, but it depends in the moment, I guess.
Yeah.
But I've gotten more and more Sand blows and, of course, gig 'ems. And
I will say this. I was on number 8 following Ryan one at the day at the Masters, and some lady yells out, blow, Sand, blow. And he definitely looked at her.
That's awesome.
Gave her a nod, made her day. They're talking about it all, because I happened to be walking with that group. And, just like, how
this was
cool
way
is
back
that?
in the 90s.
But anyway, yeah.
Buddy of mine and I went to the PGA at Southern Hills, and it was my first time.
Oh, it was hot that day.
Oh, my. 104 and 105
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday is brutal.
Jeff Sluman?
Yeah, but you know who won it? Nick Price won it. He was up by 8 going into the back 9. But my buddy Lance, who lives in Dallas, lived next door to David Frost. And here comes Frosty up the deal. And I said, Lance Maddox says hello. Boy, he turns around. He just comes right over and starts talking to us because Lance was his next door neighbor. And he doesn't know me from Adam, but he knew Lance's
That's
name.
cool.
So that's why I'm
I
asking.
get a lot of those.
Yeah.
Hey, so-and-so,
Yeah.
we're good friends, or
Yeah.
the relative or something. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot of connections out there, a lot.
Before we dive back into today's episode, let me share a fun fact with you. Did you know that the Fieldhouse Podcast is a production of the Kids Inc. Sports Network? That's right, Kids Inc. isn't just any sports organization. We have been a source for youth sports since 1945. From teaching kids the fundamentals of teamwork to fostering a love for the game, Kids Inc. is where champions are made. And here's the best part. As a listener of the Fieldhouse Podcast, you're a part of the Kids Inc. family too. Head over to kidsinc.org to learn more about current registrations, upcoming sports leagues, and how you can get involved in supporting your local young athletes. But wait, here's the kicker. Have you heard of the Rock Rose Sports Park Home Field Advantage campaign? It's a game changer for our community, aiming to provide state-of-the-art facilities for young athletes to train and compete. So if you believe in the power of sports to shape young lives and want to be a part of something truly special, check out kidsinc.org today and join us in making a difference. Together, let's continue to support the next generation of champions and to ensure that every child has the opportunity to succeed both on and off the field.
Let's talk about putting, because I'm going back to my days when I could
You got
play.
any tips?
Well, no, but that's got to be. At the end of the day, it's like a scramble. They're putting contests, and you all hit the ball well. I mean, you all hit the ball well. You all hit approach shots well. I mean, you're going to make an errant shot every now and then, but it comes down to putting. And I can't imagine at y'all's level the difference in green speeds, the meter levels at each place that you go, the different types of grass that you play. Talk to me a little bit about putting, because that's got to be an issue going from place to place and changing a little bit about how you approach a green.
Yeah, no doubt. I always call it it's the world's largest putting contest each week. I mean, you said exactly. It's everybody out there can hit the ball. Everybody drives it. Some guys drive it better than others. Iron play, and you find a lot of guys are better iron players than others. I mean, nobody's as good as an iron player now as Scotty, obviously. But, and of course, certain guys have the right short games. But when it comes to putting, whoever wins that week is always in the top two or three in putting for sure. But it's something you learn. I mean, that's what I'm trying to teach Mason today is, he goes and practices at Vaquero. Well, it's perfect. Running a 10 or 11 on the stent meter in perfect condition. I go, you don't play those kind of courses in high school, junior golf.
No.
So he goes to Grapevine Muni or Cowboys Golf Club to get on some slow Bermuda green to work on it. But it's every week. I mean, being as, many years I've been out there, I kind of know what we're getting into condition-wise. But as a young player, yeah, you're going to each golf course and you're going to have 1 week of Bermuda grass, bent grass, or Poana grass. It kind of depends on, we go to West Coast at Pebble in San Diego, it's Poana.
Yep.
That's just a matter of just hoping you get the right bounce. But you spend the weeks.
Poana's the hardest.
Poana's the hardest for sure, because once you get traction, it gets so beat up, and that's when you're just the luck of the bounce on those. But other than that, it's just learning speeds when you get there. I mean, it may be a rainy before you get there, so it's soft, which slows it up, or it could have been dry for a while, so it's a little faster. You get on fast, crusty Bermuda, the grain doesn't take it as much. So that's the key with Bermuda. as you're reading grain as well. I mean, James was always a great grain reader when we played, the grainy golf courses out in Florida. And of course, Ben is about as pure as they get. So it's just learning speeds. I mean, there's so many drills we do now, and plus just the experience and being out there as long as we have. I mean, we just kind of know how to adjust.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
But you've confirmed my question is it comes down to putting.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
And I think Ryan made an extraordinary amount of 3-footers inside and inside at one. You had a streak there for a while, didn't you? Or 4 feet inside. It's like ridiculous. Like 1 year you didn't miss.
Yeah, there was 1 year
He never missed a 3-footer
There
in
was,
the end, according to the stats. Yeah.
There's a few I've looked back on my career and had some good moments.
Yeah.
So here's some stats I've got pulled up. I want our listeners to hear this because I know golf. I can't play it anymore, but I know the game.
Yeah.
And these are phenomenal stats to me, Ryan. And I'm assuming they're pretty current because they're on the PGA website. But you've played in 511 events total now. That's probably hard to believe, but
Played in his 500th earlier this year
Yeah.
in February.
11 runner-ups.
Real quick,
Yeah.
you know what's crazy about the 511? Stuart Sink made his 500 cut this year. I played my 511th event.
Yeah.
He made his
Wow.
500 cut.
Wow.
So think
You've
about
been
that.
runner-up 11 times, third place 6 times, top 5 44 times, and top 10 71 times.
That's awesome.
Now, that's different, and where I'm really going with this is how different it is today from the Jack Nicklaus days.
Yeah.
And this is what blew my mind because I was looking this up last night.
Yeah. I know what you're going
Jack,
to say.
and take the live guys out because they're not included in the PGA money listings right now.
Right.
Take them out. Jack Nicklaus is 330th,
Is he
330 on the money list with $5.7 million in winnings. Greatest golfer of all time as far as I'm concerned. And he has 5.7. So economies of scale today, I bet most people wouldn't know this, but this guy sitting at our table is 36th on the all-time money list in the PGA.
That's amazing.
It's unbelievable, Ryan. That's
At
unbelievable.
33
million.
So I was listening to Ticket at home,
Yeah.
and they went through Scotty Scheffler's year.
Yeah.
So he made this year. He made half of Tiger's career earnings. He made more this year than Jordan Spieth made in his career already.
Wow.
And they said it was 6 to 10 times more than Jack made in his career. What Scotty made this year, and that's all because of Live. I mean, that's why the person's so high.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it'd be interesting to see what Jack would have in his career if it was today's dollar. Same
Yes,
with
that'd be
Arnold.
fun to do. Yeah.
Same
That
with Lee
is-
Trevino. I mean, all those guys that won so many times. I mean,
Persimmon versus metal.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just go on and on and on. But
their dollar versus our dollar. I mean, it's obviously different. But if you put today's dollar back then, I mean, it'd be pretty similar, I would think. They're
And
close.
not to brag on yourself, but you got to be proud of that. You're in that top 50 of all time. You know what I mean? That's pretty cool, man.
I probably don't look at myself and give myself enough credit that I should. But
Yeah.
this year I've already thought about it a lot more. More and more times I've talked to guys, and I'm on my 21st consecutive year.
Yeah.
And the
Of,
guys have talked about
of
that.
having a card. That's another number. And 37 majors, by
Yeah,
the way.
and
You
so
played.
I thought about that, and next year I'll be exempt for my 22nd year on tour. So that's something I've looked back going, wow.
you want to make a Ryder Cup team sometime?
I've had 2 calls saying sorry. So I think we're past the. Well, I guess you never know. I mean,
Yeah.
go out and
What about going to the next tour?
kill it. So
You're
yeah,
almost-
I'm excited about
you're
it.
2 years away.
So back to that 36 on the money list. They have these exemptions on tour. So top 25 career money, and then there's a top 50 career money exemption you can use one time
to play for the
to
year?
play the next season.
Okay.
So where I'm sitting this year is obviously not very good. You know, with the fall coming up, if I play well and make top 125, great. I'll be exempt next year. If not, I'm in the conditional status, which won't get many events. So next year, I can use that top 50 one-time exemption, which works out where I'm at in my life because I'll be 48 in a couple weeks. So I'll spend next year playing full exempt on tour, and then I'll turn 49. So I'll have a year to kind of wherever I fall, and then come 50, I'll be ready for January in 27. It'll be my first.
Are you going to
championship
jump
ever.
right on the senior or do both?
I'll do both if I have status. I mean,
Okay.
it all comes down to my exempt
Status.
status.
Yeah.
I'm not going to come out here as conditional and beat my brains in trying to get in, and I'd just go out there with the old guys and have some fun.
You know, we have all this success, but he also played those mini tours. You got to tell us, you know, I mean, that was a grind, obviously, where you're where you're playing for how much?
I won 4 times. I remember I always go back to 02. I won 4 times on the Tight Lights tour. I think I played 15 events that year, made every cut, and I made just over 80,000
Yeah.
that year. Yeah, I mean, I won my first tournament in 2000. I think I won $6,000 in the mini tours.
What was that experience like for you, though? Did that teach you how to play the game, or
Yeah, so I
to be a
graduated
pro?
in May of 2000 from A&M, and then I said it's time to go. I mean, I was able to raise a little money from, Vance Reed, Richard O'Neill here in town. They were so great to me growing up, and they kind of allowed me to go out and play. Not worrying about financials, and I was able to go out that summer, and I happened to win early. But it's something I just carried over from my junior days. I always look back at my career and my life playing golf as I always got better somewhere. My goal every year was to look back on the season and go, okay, what can I get better next year? One aspect of the game, whether it's putting, chipping, driving iron, I always wanted to get better somewhere. And then I won at every level, and I just kind of carried that over. I was able to win at junior golf to high school golf to college golf, mini tours.
That's
I kind of
awesome.
seemed to win at every level, and that carried me, mentally.
Ryan, you were a good athlete, though, when you were young, too, because, like I said, my wife was teaching at Bonham when you were there, and, she talked about what a good little athlete you were. When did you have to put those things aside
Basketball, especially, right?
and focus on golf?
Yeah. I played it all. I played kids league football. I played baseball, basketball, obviously, and then when I went to Bonham, I played all 3 sports.
Yep.
I was playing summer baseball and golf, and then, of course, played basketball. A lot of all-star years with Ty Cox and myself playing basketball, and then played football in 8th grade, and that was it. What's funny is a lot of people don't know this, and they remember Chris Brown, longtime kicker.
Yep.
We were handing the ball off to each other in 8th grade. He was quarterback, I was running back, and we reversed that. And we were kicking field goals back then. Of course, longtime kicker in the NFL.
Yeah.
But so after that, freshman year, I played basketball and still played baseball. But after that year, I played baseball. I was playing right field half the game. And that's where a baseball career is going to die. As a junior, as a young kid, in right field half the game. So baseball was over. And then I was on JV in my sophomore year in basketball. And I remember Coach Segura pulled me in his office afterwards. Gene Segura, yep.
Yeah.
Pulled me in his office, and we were talking. He goes, we had a bunch of good little basketball players as freshmen. And he goes, look, you play JV this year. You'll probably make varsity next year. He goes, but I think we both know where your sights are set and where you're headed to do. So you'll play varsity, but you won't get to play very much. And I said, you know what? I think this is where we'll end the old basketball career. And
Wow.
played golf my junior year, just golf, and here we are today.
So you just took his advice and just cut it off?
Yeah,
Basically?
it was that meeting. He goes,
Yeah.
"Look, you'll make varsity," and I wanted to be on varsity, but
Yeah.
I want to play.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to sit on the bench all year, excuse me, and not play. So
That's cool.
I guess you could say he was a big part of
Your
my
career.
career.
Yeah. Thanks, Gene. Gene would wear the opponent's opposite socks, colors of their socks. That was his tradition at Amarillo High. Under his.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Crazy guy. But anyway, hey, fanboy us for a second. I mean, you've played with some very famous people. Tony Romo's a good friend, for instance. Can you just give us a list of a few people that you've actually played with that we would love to hear about?
Yeah, I mean, just recently we had an event. Emmett Smith came over. And
Okay.
played a foundation event. Obviously, Romo playing like golf with him. A lot of actors playing Pebble.
Yeah.
For sure. There's been a few. Greg
Well-
Kinnear. I know Greg Kinnear very well from a few times we played together. Saw he and Luke Wilson at Shady Oaks last week playing golf.
Oh, wow.
Sean Payton. I mean,
Sean's
is a good
close
friend
friend
of
of
yours,
mine.
yeah.
Spent numerous years with he and Drew Brees.
while we're on that, tell us about the game. You got to go and get the headset on.
Oh, yeah.
Saints preseason
So,
game, maybe?
so Peyton's story, we became good friends. So it wasn't preseason. We
Okay.
a group of us from Vaquero and some good friends, and James, he set it up to go. We flew to Green Bay, season opener, Thursday night football. It's Green Bay and the Saints, and we fly in, get there, go to the stadium at Lambeau Field, and he brings us in the locker room, and we have our own little locker space. And it's got he goes, make sure you guys wear slacks, khaki slacks. Okay, so we go in there, and next thing you know, there's sweatshirts, hoodies, hats, everything team issued.
Sideline gear.
So we put on the sideline gear, and we were on the field the game
Wow.
as coaches. I mean, I'm in the middle of this. You talk about chaos. So you have defense on here, offense over here, and these guys don't talk to each other.
No.
And it's just organized chaos like you wouldn't believe. So as defense is getting ready to go on the field, here they go, all the signals. So one play, me and another friend put the headset on, and they go, "Do not hit this button." So okay. So I get this headset on, and I swore they were speaking French. It was the play calling going in, back and forth, and
Fast.
something
too.
happened because the coach came over and goes, "Hey, something going on our headsets." And did anybody hit some button or whatever? And I go, "No, but you can have this back though, because I don't want to do it again." I was so nervous, and then, but that was a cool game. Walking through the tunnel. I got a great picture with me and Sean Payton behind Jimmy Graham,
Wow.
walking to the field through the tunnel. Somebody took from behind us, so that was a cool moment.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Just in the headset, these plays are foreign language,
yeah. I mean,
aren't they?
it's all this,
And they're so fast,
zip
right?
Z35 dive with this, that, you're like whatever that is.
I've never been to Lambeau, but I feel like I have because we've got a Low Van Pham is from Amarillo, and he's an NFL official now. Had a game there last year, and he sent me some pictures from behind the scenes, and I said, I just want a piece of turf. Just put some turf in your pocket or something for me.
It was cool.
Yeah.
That was some fun moments with Peyton. Then back to your question,
yeah.
guys I play
Help
with.
us out.
There's been a lot, and I've spent a lot of time with George Bush, playing with him. I mean,
Okay,
how
just
much-
the
just
former president. Yeah.
we share our lockers are next to each other at Vaquero. He don't use it, but I'll see him at Vaquero now and then, and I've played his Wounded Warrior event in Dallas a few times, and I've been starstruck a few times. I
Okay.
mean, George was cool, but Michael Jordan, I was at the Grove playing his golf course in Florida and met him for the first time.
Wow.
And then I played a member guest at Cordillera Ranch in San Antonio, and I met George Strait.
Wow.
Took a picture with him, and we were in the same. We played a shootout the day before the member guest, and that was probably one of the biggest starstruck moments I've had.
Does he have any game?
A little bit. I'll tell you a real quick story. I'll make it fast.
Yeah. No.
We're in the shootout, and it's a 4-man shootout, and they put me with him. They knew my financial guy, Sean Gosden, knew how much I love, obviously being a George Strait fan. So we're on the same team, and it's alternate shot, true alternate shot. So we hit the shot in the right hay. We go out there, and we're around it, and this one group's already out of the hole. It's a shootout, so you get knocked out, right? And this hay is up to his knees. You got to carry it 150. He's about 170 to the hole, and George is hitting. And so we're sitting there, and I get down there. I go, "Ooh, this is not good." He's got a 6 or 7 iron out, and I'm like, "It's about 150 to carry the creek and 170 to the hole." He goes, "I think I can get that there." I go, "Well, this team's already out. They're done. All they got to do is finish the hole. Why don't we just chip out? Let's just hit on the green, make our 5 or 6, and move on. We're going to win." "Yeah, but I think I can hit this shot." And I'm like, "George, sorry, but I think it's best to chip out." And so we go back for 10 seconds, right? And I go, "George, let me tell you something. I don't care how many number 1 hits you have. I've been on tour for 20 years. I can't hit this shot. Chip it out." He went and got his wedge and chipped out.
That is a great story. Wow.
I
Yeah.
had everybody laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys talk about Amarillo by Morning, the song?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. That's so
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
So
Is President Bush a good golfer, or just likes the game?
fast
more than-
golfer.
Fast.
He's
Yeah.
in his low 80s, but he didn't play events. When he plays with one other guy maybe, and they play in 2.5 hours.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
He
the
plays
way.
at PT, Brook Hollow, and Vaquero, but when he comes out, he plays in 2.5 hours and leaves 18 holes. He
I
won't
love that.
play, and yeah.
Have you met George Bush?
Oh, I rode on a plane with him once. Yeah,
How was
I told
that?
you that story. I told you if I could go sit and have lunch with anybody, it'd be he and his wife.
Yeah.
Just pure class.
It's
I got to tell you real quick. He's in Amarillo, running for governor, and he owned part of the Rangers. I might have told this story, but he owned part of the Rangers. So I sat in the front row, listened to the whole press conference, and then went up to him afterward and was going to ask him a Rangers question. And he goes, "Before I even get there, I've got a coat on." He goes, "You're a sports writer. I can smell you guys a mile away." Just like that. Fun guy, and sat down and did it.
Yeah, I
So-
rode from here to Dallas with him one time, and just perfect gentleman.
Hey, you're in town today for your foundation. If you don't mind, tell us how that got started. It's done amazing stuff for allowing young people, are struggling with their smiles, with their teeth, can't afford it. You get them something they can be proud of to walk around in public. But you're 20 and you're back here in Amarillo hosting it. But how did it start? And I love what you did at Northwest as well. You know, that's a cool little place for the kids to just go enjoy, or the family to go enjoy while they're going through something at Northwest.
Yeah, and it started one night walking in from a party that we were at, and my dad, and we walked in the house, and he had this picture, this painting of Joe Wyatt painted. This little boy, hat backwards in his dad's shoes, bucket of balls, teeing a ball up. It was our old logo forever.
I think it's on there right in front of us.
Yeah, I think it is. I go, we need to do a foundation. I think this would be awesome. This is back in 03, 04. And it's something I want to do. And we got talking about it. And obviously, Billy Slaughter was our first president and did a lot of work with us and helped out. And so we started this tournament at Tascosa where I grew up playing. And today we're having our 20th annual. It's been off for a while since COVID. It just hasn't been able to work out and get back here. So, but it all started raising money, and I think our first biggest thing we did was donate $100,000 to the hospital for the healing garden.
Yeah,
in the 2 rooms for kids to kind of enjoy while they're in the hospital and trying to be a kid and normal. And folks can go outside when they're there with their kids as well. And then getting involved with junior golf, junior tournaments, college tournaments, and then of course my wife being a dentist. This Bright Smiles came about, and providing kids with dental care that can't afford it, and that's probably been one of our biggest things we've done for sure. And nothing makes me more happier than when you read these stories of these kids, and then you see the aftermath, and it brings tears to your eyes. I mean, to be able to give a kid, and everybody, as everybody knows, I mean, today's world, especially with your teeth and your smile, it means a lot. And kids today can struggle. I mean, from bullying to you name it. And we've read stories of these kids, and it's great to see the after part. And then, of course, with Jennifer going through breast cancer in 16, we're able to do a lot of things with some breast cancer stuff. We do these hope kits that we provide, ladies that are during their chemo. And there's a mammogram mobile unit in Dallas that rolls around that we partnered up with that provides free mammograms. There's more, and there's more I want to do from a golf standpoint. It's just finding out the exact thing to do with golf, and there's so many things to do, obviously, with tournaments and how do we get more kids involved. And we had a big event in Vaquero last week for the foundation, so hopefully we keep going. It's always great to come back, and the folks here in Amarillo love supporting it. I'm excited about the tournament today to finally get back to doing it. John Dawson and Jarrett Johnson here in town have been on our board since day one, and they put a lot of work into it, and they were really instrumental in making sure it came back. And so they're over at Tascosa now doing the work, and I'm here with you guys. So
we appreciate you very
much.
But
I'm excited for today to see a lot of old friends and have the event again. And
well, as a WT grad, I'm going to tell you thanks because I know you've done a lot for our golf program down there too.
For sure.
I call him my future son-in-law, played down there, and you did stuff when he was playing too. But I appreciate you helping their golf program out down there too. They've done very well the last 3 years, and support coming from you means a lot to them.
Yeah,
so.
Coach Cho has done a good job. Obviously, Province winning.
Yeah.
What he did at Nationals was awesome. Now he's in New Mexico, so it's awesome for.
I got one last question.
We got one more award. He's not going to talk about awards, but the Arnie Award. In February 2023. There's so many of them, but we didn't even ask about winning 4 times on tour, but that is recognized to golfers who give back. It's an extraordinary tribute to get that award. It's speaking of Pebble Beach, it's there, as I understand it. Jim Nance has won it. Just a really wonderful honor. What did that one mean to you?
That was a moment, I will say, when I got called and I was being awarded that particular award. I mean, because it has to do with Arnold Palmer and his history and the work he did, charity work. And when Golf Week called me and said they were presenting me with that award, and to be given that by Jim Nance, with my wife and friends and all the celebrities that were there and business people that were there in the world of golf, and being on stage with Jim Nance and this awesome little statue of Arnold, it was what it meant. Obviously, the work I've done with charity and our foundation has done, and but not to be in that little small fraternity with the likes of Peyton Manning, Jim Nance, I think Rory McIlroy just won it this past year. Canelo, the boxer, he won it. There's so many. I mean, Darius Rucker, so many artists as well have won the same awards. So to be in that little small fraternity is that's something I'll always cherish.
Yeah, I'm gonna change it from a question, just common statement to kind of close this deal out because we got to get him.
I know we got to get him out, but he's got to tell us about Scotty Scheffler.
Okay, go.
Okay, I know you're a golf fan.
Go.
You saw him when he was young. Did you guys that hung around him at that think he was going to be what he is today?
I remember meeting him. He was in high school still. He wasn't very tall, and so because he was working with Randy, and I'd see him there, and we'd joke around and chip around and have fun. And the next time I saw him after a year or two of college, he had sprouted. I was like, whoa! I mean, how tall he gotten. So, and then when he went through a year on the nationwide tour or Korn Ferry, and when we get on tour, it's always a matter of can he win. I mean, he was always struggling trying to win, and I mean, what he's done is unbelievable.
Okay.
It's been awesome. The years he's had the last few years, and when he won that first one, we knew it was going to domino. I mean, there's no doubt he was going to win a lot, and he is.
What's he like?
He's as good as they come. You would never know it. Who he is as a person. He and his wife Meredith, very devoted Christians, very family oriented guy. His parents are awesome. He's humble, and you would never think that what he made this year, which is pretty cool. He drove an old Suburban until it just pretty much broke down on him. He won't even buy a car. I think he's driving a rental car right now. But he won't even buy a car. But no, he's awesome. He's fun to play with, and he loves. Every time I'm at Royal Oaks, I see him, and we joke around. We play it on practice rounds as well. So, but he, it's pretty impressive what he's doing, and I don't see him stopping anytime soon.
A practice round. Take us in for the golfers who we got listening. Some fun games going on, little money, little just to make things interesting, or are you guys just talking to each other? You working on your games? What do you guys do?
A little bit of both, but if you get the certain guys you'll play, so I'll play a lot with Jordan Spieth, and the game we always play is we play a birdie game for a nice amount, and then
what's the birdie game?
I will do 50s or 100.
Okay.
Birdie.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
But the fun part is our caddies get the putt if we miss the putt. So if Jordan missed, Griller comes in and gets to try to make it. He's the most fun to watch putt. That's where we have fun.
Why is he not?
It's just entertaining.
Okay.
But he hits it. It's okay though.
Okay. All right.
So I had an advantage there with James, I think. So that was kind of our game.
Yeah.
The caddies got the putt if we missed.
That is cool. That is so fun. Who would be your ultimate foursome that you got to play in, if you could pick three people? Obviously, your dad.
Yeah, I got to ask this question. I had a few. Actually, I threw a few more than four, but
just give us a few names.
I mean, obviously, Dad. I think it'd be cool. I did answer this one way. I said it'd be my dad, my son, and Arnold. 4 Palmers.
That would be cool.
In Arnold's prime.
Yeah.
I'd probably add Hogan in his prime just to see what it was like.
Wow. Really?
So that's kind of the way I answered that one.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
That's tough to talk.
Talk about your dad for a second. He was such a good dude, just an amazing man, but one who gave back to his community he was in, Shriners, stuff like that. Was he just the ultimate example, Ryan, of giving back?
He's just part of it for me. I mean, I think it's what made me who I am. I followed him throughout, my junior years, going around the fairs, the events that he did with his Shriners work, the Coors Cowboy Club.
Coors Cowboy, yeah.
Being a part of that. I did a lot of events with him, with those guys, and got to spend time around the Reeds and Vance and Chris, and Dad being a part of it. And so it was something I just watched him do. And he loved the work with Shriners, the kids. And then just the work he did around the city, giving back.
Totally.
And organizations, they helped out. And, I've always said that's why I started the foundation in Amarillo, was to give back and say thank you to this city, the people who helped raise me. I mean, and if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be probably talking right now, obviously. But I'm very blessed and thankful for what he gave and showed me and did everything he could for me and my sister and my family. So I'm blessed to have the friends I have here still today through him. So
I know we got to get him on the road. We got to get him out of here. But I'm going to tell you this, fame, fortune, and all the things that you've experienced have not changed you since you started all this. And for you to come back and do the things that you do with your foundation and to still be the same guy, haven't changed a bit, is impressive. I told Lance when Scotty won the gold medal, the emotion that he showed for his country. And, this is the same thing that you do, Ron. You're always the perfect gentleman. You carry yourself well for you and your family. And, for a guy that grew up in the game, makes me proud to know you and to have somebody like you that comes back and does what you do for our community. And for you to take time this morning to come do this for us, hats off. So
yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, and for your mom to make arrangements too.
Yeah.
It just happened. We sat by each other at a Sod Poodles
That
game
was
a couple
cool.
weeks
He
ago.
loaned her car to me.
I said, I need a big favor, and I know this was big out of your
Yeah,
time
no,
today.
no,
So
I agree.
thanks.
You have a busy day as well. Just want to say all the local media, as I represent Ryan Oit, never big times us. At the Masters, it's kind of it's a weird deal, but he never big timed me at all. Always had time after a round, after a practice round, whatever. I just want to say thanks, because the little group I'm in, like Augusta, the Atlanta papers and all that, Savannah, those guys go, man, that guy's pretty nice, isn't he? I goes, yeah, he really is. You know what I mean? So great stuff. And hey, George Strait. I mean, you're
So
my
for-
hero now playing with.
So for Jamie Fincham, Lance Maddox, Don Duncan, and me, for my foursome growing up, thanks for being here
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
Well,
Great
thank
stuff,
you.
Ryan. And congratulations on all you've done. I know life's just starting.
Well, thank you. And, my hats off to you guys for continuing the sports in Amarillo, and you help promote me as well. So I can't thank you more than enough. But just to the city of Amarillo, for supporting me and caring for my family and for what my parents have done here in the city, and I'll never forget and always be from here. So very honored.
boy.
But thank you for having me.
Very, very cool. That's sweet swinging Ryan Palmer over there. Let's hop out of here. Thank you so much for all the listeners out there and the viewers. We've had a blast. Appreciate all the comments out there in public as well. If you have somebody, Jim and I always say this, if you have somebody you want us to bring on, we'll do the best we can. Just let us know. Maddie, thanks for what you do behind the scenes. You don't get to see her. Maybe we should have her here. We'd probably get more views, but it's all good. Thanks a lot, Maddie. We appreciate you. Let's hop out of here. We'll be back when we see you. This was the Fieldhouse Podcast.